If you didn't do anything, why did you run?
It's not exactly a friendly city.
Let me tell you how this works.
Please do.
Writing dialogue can be a really problematic task to perform. You'll find yourself writing and rewriting the same line of dialogue over and over and over, trying to get it to be just right. And the truth of the matter is, this is a prime example of just keep writing. You can always come back, you can always revisit this. You don't have to have it perfect as you go.
I don't get it.
I was bored.
Bored?
I don't know, I'd lost the spirit of adventure. Maybe I just don't have the stomach for it anymore.
Dialogue is probably one of the hardest things to nail, but probably one of the most important elements. You can lose your audience so quickly if the dialogue isn't real.
So, what do you got for me?
Rumors is all. Shadows, really. The man is practically a fairy tale nowadays.
Well, then tell me a bedtime story.
What? Sometimes you'll see something, read something on the page, you don't feel like it really works until you see an actor actually, reading it. There was a piece of dialogue in the script that Fletch and I were arguing over quite extensively. He was arguing that it needed to be there and that it was real, and even in the auditions, it wasn't working. And then we had some really bad actors. Not all of them, but we had a couple of really bad actors that came in and read this line, the whole thing. They read the whole thing over the top and cocky. Their whole audition was horrible until that one line.
They weren't supposed to print that for another week.
And if you say that line serious, as though he's worried about that, and that's how the good actors in the audition were doing it. They were putting a lot of, energy into it, and they were, showing emotion on their face, like, they weren't supposed to print that for 2 weeks, really kind of worried. That line didn't work.
No one really kind of writes a screenplay by starting at the first of the screenplay and writing till page 120. It's just not the way it works. You write a little bit here, and then you keep going, and you write a little more here, and then you go back to this bit because it changed now of something you added later on, and you write a little bit more of that. It's very problematic to try and write linearly. The key is to just keep writing. If it sounds dumb, don't worry. You can rewrite it later, you can come back, you can fix it.
Hey, watch where you toss those. Sorry. I can't sell wet newspapers, man.
You'll sell those ones! In the end, by the time you finish your screenplay, and if it's a feature-length screenplay at 120 pages, you know these characters so well that when you go back and do your reread and you read through it again, you're going to realize, oh, that he would never say that. And it will seem like second nature by that point.
If it's a realistic, political thriller like this one is, it obviously needs to be real dialogue. It needs to feel real. It's not fantasy. It's not, it's not over-the-top comedy. And so real dialogue is not always the easiest to create, because they have to be saying things that feel real. They have to be saying, in these situations that they're in, it has to feel real, and it's got to be dialogue that works. If it's not, you're going to lose your audience, and you're going to wish you hadn't shot the movie.
What is it that you want from me?